Dr. Sharif Abdullah offers a unique, hopeful, and visionary perspective on the persistent challenges of our time. His perspective is shaped by his urban upbringing of poverty and violence, his Ivy League education, and his work with impacted communities in America and in 45 countries around the world. His spiritual outlook is rooted in the consciousness of dozens of religions, faith traditions, and spiritual practices. Sharif offers this unique viewpoint, helping us chart a course that explains where we've been, where we are now, and how we get to a positive future that works for all living beings.
Hello, Sharif here. And I want to talk to you today about something that I think all of us know pretty well, especially if you've been on social media at all in the last, say, 100,000 years or so. And that is the level of, let's call it civil discourse that we have with each other. The level of how we talk to each other, how we talk about each other, how we talk against each other. You know what I'm talking about in terms of the random and sustained name calling that you see on Facebook and other social media, where we don't have the basic respect for each other and for each other's opinions, and we wind up using foul, abusive, negative language toward each other. We get to the point where people are trading, "You're a fucking idiot," and then somebody says, "No, you're a fucking idiot," and they kind of keep going at each other this way, and they can't even get to the point that they can hear each other anymore. Now, I don't think that any of that is an accident, and I don't think that any of that is a function of inherent racism, inherent sexism, inherent homophobia, inherent negative behaviors at that level. I think the level is lower than that. I think it goes to the nature of who you are inside that drives those words outside. I think it goes to the nature of who you are in the world that causes you to interact with people, interact with your fellow human beings in this negative way. In my book, Creating a World That Works for All, I've got a quote from a brilliant woman, Vamala Fakar. And in the quote, she says, "Your negative feeling has little to do with the other person. It emerges from the discontent with the reality of your own life." I'm going to say that part again. It emerges from the discontent with the reality of your own life. The negative feeling is not a feeling directed toward others. It is a feeling directed against yourself. The feeling arises when you are not reconciled to the fact of what you are. I put it in my book because it's so true. We see people who are deeply unreconciled to who and what they are. It's like a pain, a cancer that's eating the insides of you. And it causes this pain that causes you to lash out at others. A number of you know about the experiment that I used to do at Clark University in Massachusetts when I was in my undergraduate program there. In the psychology program, we would look at experimentations with rats. So you take two rats, you put them in a metal cage, make it a nice large cage, give them adequate food, adequate water, And these two rats will cohabit with each other. They'll, ignore each other. They'll test the bars of the cage. They'll see what their world looks like. Then you send a mild electric shock through the floor of the cage. And immediately these two rats will start to attack each other. All they know is, I'm in pain and there's another rat. In some way, that rat over there must be causing my pain. In some way, that rat over there must be must be the locus of my pain. And I can't see past my pain in order to see that that rat's not doing a damn thing to me. We're in the same boat. We are in the situation where the rat is, rat's us, and the rat is our other. And we are going head to head with our other, not recognizing that first of all, they're not causing my pain. Number two, they're in pain themselves. Whatever's causing my pain is also causing their pain. And together, once we work this out, we may be able to turn off whatever the power is that's turning on our pain. This is a challenge for us. I think it's a major challenge for us. And I think that it's calling on you to elevate your sight, to elevate past this pain. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Some years ago, I was visiting my daughters in Atlanta, and one of my daughters decided I looked too pudgy, so she said, okay, we're going to the gym. So I go to the gym, an unfamiliar gym to me, and work out, get sweaty, go to the locker room. And as I'm washing and changing, I'd say that the locker room was probably half African Americans, half whites. And as I was listening to the African American males running down white people and doing that in the most negative and abusive language I had heard in a long time. They were acting like half the gym wasn't there. They were acting like I can say anything I want to say and there are no repercussions to me. They were acting like the roles had been flipped over the course of the years. So they went from a white oppressor to a black oppressor, and they thought that was okay. I was looking at the white patrons that were, changing their clothes and getting their street clothes on and not saying a word, okay, keeping a very, very low profile. And I was thinking, what is going through their minds right now? How are they taking this right now? Remember what Vimala Thakar said. Your negative feeling has little to do with that other person over there. It emerges from the discontent of the reality of your own life. So while these black guys are running down all these white guys, what they're doing is running down themselves because there's something that they have not reconciled themselves with. They have not reconciled themselves to who and what they are. That's the hard work. That's the interior work. That's the work that those of us who have done the work emerge on the other side and say, phew, I'm a better person now. I'm a bigger person now. I am a confident person now. I am um, I am ready to be the authentic human being I'm meant to be. Until we do that interior work, and do that work as an entire society, not a whole bunch of individuals. Once we do that work together, once I do my work out loud with you, we're not going to make any progress. And when we do that, we're going to make such progress, it's going to be amazing to us how quickly our lives can change and how quickly our society will change once we get our gerbil out of the wheel of going over the same ground over and over again. I welcome us doing this work. I applaud you in doing your work. Let's do more of it, and let's do more of it together. I'll have some opportunities for us to do that work coming up in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned, and thank you.
You are invited to participate in the discussions and activities that will define a positive future for all. We are at the cusp of the expansion of our human consciousness, beyond the limitations of our past. Together, we can envision a world that embraces our human potential. Together, we can create a world that can truly work for all living beings.